I haven't been. I haven't done a video in a while, so I the my thing has stopped again, and I can never tell when this happens if okay, it's at 28. Um so why would we question the medical industry? Um, right now, or the medical field, medical, whatever you call it. Um, I've had a lot of questions recently, not really recently, but for a very long time. Um, I'm contemplating the correlation between blood clots and Lyme's disease, and if what doctors are calling blood clots are possibly internal tick infestation. And one could probably say, oh gosh, this, B asterisk, asterisk, whatever, questions everything. Well, I've learned to. Because when I was young, I was very naive, as I've talked about very many times. And I don't like being naive because the place that although I'm still innocent in I still have an innocent mind. Like I still attend to things as in an innocent manner. Um, as far as, I don't want to reach for a weapon to solve an issue, or I don't want to engage in a political marriage for the purpose of someone else's satisfaction. Um, because what I'm learning and discovering as I've taken a look back at so many different areas of global history, that political marriages really aren't the answer for a long term uh, world peace existence. Um, and as our lives evolve and take place, and the same battles, even within my own life, keep coming back to the same players and the same and, and, and so you can only question. um there's always a switch off too. um And I just have to interject here because I can see Gene F. Henderson II thinks I'm on my knees to him, and I'm not. Without myself and my children, I'm proving to myself, although he, as a male chauvinist, um, member of insidious secret societies, or a few, I can name at least three different ones that I can clearly see he was a member of, and I'm not. And they try to encapture me by way of my digital existence, and all kinds of other things. But where I am right now is the medical industry, and question again what I was saying about the possible correlation of uh, internal tick infestation with what doctors call um, a blood clot. I've had very many experiences which have, like, my own physical health has been denied me by very many And it goes back again to my childhood and those connections and those black market connections that Jean and Charlotte had and continue to have, and how it all keeps swirling around me. My life and what I've experienced and am still experiencing as far as battles go, like family battles. And I moved to Colorado. One of the reasons I moved to Colorado in 1996 was to get away from my Henderson family, because I was tired of being the peacemaker. I was tired of being the one to go here, there. Let me see if I can get through and see if I can resolve this issue just by getting that person to see the other person's perspective, and vice versa. I got tired of that. Um, and and I didn't realize that that's what my role within my Henderson family was, until instance of retrospect. Um, so those battles from my childhood and all of their connections are still swirling around me. So even within my own existence here on Earth and in this era of United States and global history, um, my life is an illustration of people never they'd rather battle and run a government on war and battle um instead of resolving issues and being done with the issue. um and it's like, okay, well, it's resolved for now, but we're back here getting revenge. We're formulating a plan to, because we can't let our egos can't let you get away with this. And and now it's even within my own existence. Like, I take up for myself justly, and it's not a matter of me getting away with something. It's a condition, or a condition that I've stood my ground, made my point, and they got my point, and they understand what the point is. But they can't let it rest. They can't. And this is where their egos come. It won't let them let go of an issue, because their existence, as far as what they're used to, um what they're used to being able to, go out in the world and pretend like they're these innocent people, and they're not. um But what's interesting is that what I'm discovering, and I don't really want to go into this particular point, just because I'm trying not to go off on tangents. I'm trying to stay on a topic. And so to ask about a correlation between, and I only started thinking, well, that would not be true for me to say I only started thinking about the possible correlation. Is simply, I was looking up a drug that that I was prescribed, and I never used it, but so I had some left, and I looked it up because for whatever reason, uh, again, I am in a process of intellectual, emotional, and physical recovery. Um, so I honestly can't say why I decided to throw the original prescription bottle away and put, unless someone was invading my my intellectual existence and needed a cover up for something. I don't know. And I don't want to go into explaining what the heck I mean, what that comment means either. I simply know enough to know. The so when I just looked up the drug to see what it is, because I want to see if I can, because it's actually the only thing that I've taken. I remembered that it was for pain. Like, I remember it was prescribed for pain, but I couldn't remember what it was called. And so then just recent, I can't even remember when it was prescribed. I only got the prescription filled one time. And I think it's been probably more than a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago. And so I looked it up to see if I could find the name so that I can get it prescribed again, because I started taking it because I've been in a lot of pain, and I don't like taking really hard painkiller. I don't like that word. There's people outside trying to interfere with my what I'm saying. It's always a latch on, because it's then part of it is about an intellectual battle. But again, so when I looked up the markings of the pill and everything of what it is, that's when I started to it's almost like supportive information to question the possible correlation of Lyme's disease to what they're calling what the doctors have called blood clots or aneurysms, or and this isn't the drug that I looked up, but I remembered that when I was pregnant, and then I started thinking about the whole thing of this indigestion, heartburn, acid reflux that I've had my whole life, since I was a child. And honestly, the only time that I didn't have it, as I just burped because I'm having a bout with, but was when I was pregnant with my daughter Jen, with my first pregnancy, that to full term pregnancy. And most women get heartburn. And my second pregnancy, 20 years later, I got indigestion heartburn so bad it brought me to tears. Like it was very painful. And when I looked up the medication that was prescribed for me while I was pregnant, and so for whatever reason, I just looked that drug up again, and it says something about that it's treated for, or it's used to treat some kind of abdominal surgery, deep vein thrombosis. So acute ST, elevation myocardial infarction, deep vein thrombosis. So just the fact that it's about abdominal surgery, ask the question, okay, is there then a correlation with indigestion, a valve in your stomach that that opens and closes, and there's a blocking of the opening or the closing of that valve, and I can't remember which one it was. It seems like because it's acid reflux that maybe it's a block, it gets blocked open, but I don't want to muddy because I don't remember the research. It's been so long since I've looked up for my own physical health what exactly. And this takes me back to how I discovered by decoding. It really gets because I had done some research, and information was by decoding or one of the pharaoh's names, and I found information. I can't remember I know I posted it on my Facebook page. If I can remember how, that's been a few years ago. But I found information about acid reflux and the stomach and the condition that causes acid reflux after research that I was doing, like one led to the other. Egyptian history. And again, I am a Christian. I have to say that anytime, because so many Christians then, and those who aren't Christians but who claim to be for political, cultural infiltration, you know, they try to use everything they possibly can to get in your head about your own salvation. And um and so to me it's just interesting that here it is again. And I'm gonna have to see if I can find on my Facebook page where I posted that, because that was an interesting sort of revelational era of information revealing itself to me. And it's also an era of the time that I started to wonder and realize, did King Tut know that Jesus was coming? And I think that he did. And then because really when it comes down to it, anytime you talk about the medical field or UFOs or absolutely anything, it all comes back to the claiming of intellect, and and there's that battle. And so it goes back to the days of the pharaohs and the pyramids and all that stuff. um Logistically, actually, it's actually, you can logically follow the historical influence, maybe the right word. So anyway, the the Lovenox was a was an injection that I had to give myself once or twice a day. I can't remember, and I can't stand needles. I never could. Um, so it was, and particularly when I was pregnant, it was really hard to do that. There's going to be a lot of information coming back to me as I'm talking about this, because there always is. Um, 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 so again, I it just in these two drugs that I just looked up, there's some to me there's a possible logical hypothesis and correlation, like was saying, to Lyme disease and internal tick infestation, to acid reflux, maybe, possibly, and also to what doctors call blood clots. And so for now, I'm just going to end my video journal entry at that question.